Good morning, friends. Welcome to Gyan channel. The today's topic for our discussion is the use of graphics in mass communication and journalism. Let's begin the class. Firstly, we discuss about the graphics. What are the definitions of graphics and what are the types? Graphics are visual images or designs on some surface such as a wall, canvas, screen, paper, or stone to inform, illustrate, or entertain. In contemporary uses of it includes pictorial representation of data as in computer-aided design and manufacture, in typesetting and the graphic art, and in educational and recreational software. Images that are generated by a computer are called computer graphics. Examples are photographs, drawings, line art, graphs, diagrams, typography, numbers, symbols, geometric designs, maps, engineering drawings, or other images. Graphics often combine text, illustration, and color. Now we discuss about computer graphics. There are two types of computer graphics, raster graphics and vector graphics. The raster graphic where each pixel is separately defined and vector graphics where mathematical formulas are used to draw lines and shapes, which are then interpreted at the viewer's end to produce the graphic. Using vectors results in definitely sharp graphics and often smaller files, but when complex like vectors take time to render and may have larger file sizes than a raster equivalent. In 1950, the first computer-driven display was attached to MIT's Whirlwind 1 computer to generate simple pictures. This was followed by MIT's TX0 and TX2. Interactive computing, which increased interest in computer graphics during the late 1950s. In 1962, Ivan Sutherland invented Sketchpad, an innovative program that influenced alternative forms of interaction with computers. Modern computer systems dating from 1980s and onwards often use a graphical user interface, which you also call a GUI, to present data and information with symbols, icons, and pictures rather than text. 3D graphics became more popular in 1990s in gaming, multimedia, and animation. In 1996, Quake, one of the first fully 3D games, was released. In 1995, Toy Story, the first full-length computer-generated animation film, was released in cinemas. Since then, computer graphics have become more accurate and detailed. Another use of computer graphics is screensavers, originally intended to preventing the layout of much used GUIs from burning into the computer screen. They have since evolved into true pieces of art. Their practical purpose obsolete, modern screens are not susceptible to such burn-in artifacts. Now we discuss about web graphics. In 1990s, internet speeds increased and internet browsers capable of viewing images were released. The first being Mosaic. Websites began to use the GIF format to display small graphics such as banners, advertisements, and navigation buttons on web pages. Modern web browsers can now display JPEG, PNG, and increasingly SVG images in addition to GIFs on web pages. SVG and to some extent VML support in some modern web browsers have made it possible to display vector graphics that are clear at any size. Plugins expand the web browser functions to display animated, interactive, and 3D graphics contained within file formats such as SWS and X3D. Let's discuss about desktop publishing, that is also called as DTP in short form. Desktop publishing or DTP is the creation of documents using page layout skills on a personal computer, primarily for print. Desktop publishing software can generate layouts and produce typographic quality text and images comparable to traditional typography and printing. This technology allows individuals, businesses, and other organizations to self-publish a wide range of printed matter. When used skillfully, desktop publishing allows the user to produce a wide variety of materials from menus to magazines and books without the expense of commercial printing. Persistence of vision. Persistence of exposure as a visual art form using an array of lights waved back and forth in space with the lights controlled by a variable computer. Persistence of vision refers to the optical illusion that occurs when visual perception of an object does not cease for some time after the rays of light proceeding from it have ceased to enter the eye. The illusion has also been described as retinal persistence, persistence of impressions, or simply persistence and other variations. It is assumed that the illusion that film historians often refer to as persistence of vision is the same as what is known as positive after images by psychologists. Conceiving logo design. A logo is a graphic mark, emblem, or symbol commonly used by commercial enterprises, organizations, and even individuals to aid and promote instant public recognition. There are purely graphic emblems, symbols, icons, and logos which are composed of the name of in the name of a organization. On the days of hot metal typesetting, a logo type was one word cast as a single piece of type, AF, ATF, Garamond, opposed to the ligature, which is two or more letters joined but not forming a word. By extension, the term was also used for a uniquely set and arranged typeface or colophon. At the level of mass communication and in common usage, a company's logo is today often synonymous with its trademark or brand. Now we discuss about logo design. Since a logo is the visual entity signifying an organization, logo design is an important area of graphic design. Logo is the central element of a complex identification system that must be functionally extended to all communications of an organization. Therefore, the design of logos and their incorporation in a visual identity system is one of the most difficult and important areas of our graphic design. Logos fall into three classifications, which can also be combined. They are ideographs, such as chase-back or completely abstract form, pictographs, iconic representational designs, and logotypes, word marks depict the name or company initials. Because logos are meant to represent companies' brands or corporate identities and foster their immediate customer recognition, it is counterproductive to frequently design logos. Corporate identity. A corporate identity or corporate image is the manner which a corporation, firm, or business presents themselves to the public, such as customers and investors, as well as employees. It's a primary task of the corporate communications department to maintain and build this identity to accord with and facilitate business objectives. It is typically visually manifested by way of branding and the use of trademarks. In general, this amounts to a corporate title, logo, and supporting devices commonly assembled within a set of guidelines. These guidelines govern how the identity is applied and would include approved color palettes, typefaces, page layouts, and other such things. Design and layout. Now we discuss about design layout of newspapers, posters, and magazines. News design is the process of arranging material on a newspaper page according to editorial and graphical guidelines and goals. Main editorial goals include the ordering of news stories by order of importance, while graphical considerations include readability and balance, unobstructive, unobtrusive incorporation of advertising. The era of modern newspapers begins in the mid 19th century with the Industrial Revolution and increased capacities for printing and distribution. 19th century newspapers were often densely packed with type, often arranged vertically with multiple headlines for each article. A number of the same technological limitations persisted until the advent of digital typesetting and pagination in late 20th century. What was the process? The designers typically used desktop publishing software to arrange the elements on the pages directly. In the past, before digital pre-press pagination, designers used precise layout dummies to direct the exact layout of elements for each page. A complete layout dummy was required for designating proper column width by which a typesetter would set type and arrange columns of left. Layout also required the calculation of length of copy for any chosen width. Much of the variance and incoherence of early newspapers was because last-minute corrections were exclusively handled by typesetters. With photographic printing process, typesetting gave way to paste up, whereby columns of type were printed by machines on high-resolution film or paste up on photographed final prints. Design options. Designers chose photo sizes and headline. They may decide what articles will go on which pages and where on the page alone or in consultations with editors. They may choose typefaces for special pages, but newsletters usually have a design style that determines most routine uses. Page layout. Consumer magazine, sponsored advertisements, and covers rely heavily on professional page layout skills to compete for visual attention. Page layout is the part of graphic design that deals in the arrangement of visual elements on a page. It generally involves organizational principles of composition to achieve specific communication objectives. Design elements and choices. Page layout might be prescribed to a greater or lesser degree by a house style, which might be implemented in a specific desktop publishing template. There might also be relatively layout to do in comparison of the amount of pagination. In newspaper production, final selection and cropping of photographs accompanying stories might be left to the layout editor, or there might be a separate photo editor. To make stories fit the final layout, relatively inconsequential copy tweaks might be made, or the layout editor might make slight adjustments to typography elements like font size or leading. Relevance of font and sizes. The importance of typography in print is often overlooked. Typography is extremely important in printed marketing materials, whether a leaflet or a poster. By your printed marketing materials have to be reader friendly. This makes the art of typography imperative to make your words come to life. It impacts how it is received by the reader, and good typography can convey feelings, reinforce brand image, and speak to the reader. Evoke feelings and emotions. Good typography enhances your graphic designs and gives them the ability to evoke the right emotion. Typography can not only evoke feelings and emotions about the message but also about your brand. Whether we are aware of it or not, we all make judgments based on how a brand looks and how it makes us feel. Reduce eye fatigue. When designing your printed materials, you are aiming to impress. Typography helps you achieve that. Choosing the appropriate font can make your message more legible and easy to grasp. The line length, font size, character rendering, and other typographical elements must be considered to achieve the best results. Good typography can help reduce eye strain and fatigue and encourage the reader to pay more attention to your printed materials. Communicate clear messages. Good design can create a lasting first impression and can boost your credibility and trustworthiness. Good typography can help you communicate your messages more clearly and can help guide your readers to taking the desired call to action. Main types of font. There are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of different fonts to choose from, and choosing the wrong one can have massive impact on the look and feel of your marketing materials. To discuss a few most widely used are as serif. Serif is the slight projection of the end of the stroke that's most commonly seen at the bottom of letters. Some serif fonts, such as Times Now Roman, will have what look like little feet on them, and this is what makes them serif. Serif is often regarded as one of the easiest fonts for the eye to read and is generally used to help convey authority and trust. Sans serif. Sans serif fonts have no feet or serif and are often perceived to give a modern and streamlined feel that can be harder to read in smaller sizes. Sans serif fonts are often used to evoke emotions such as simplicity, luxury, and exclusivity, which is probably why brands such as Apple use sans serif fonts throughout their marketing. Script. This font type is known for its elegant, light, and professional appeal and is often used by traditional and professional companies. This font is intended to be used sparingly and would not be appealing if used as body copy or in small sizes. Hand lettering. These type of fonts have the appearance of being handwritten, often in childlike or note style. Handwriting fonts are perfect for adding human element to the design to help the reader relate to the message. You might have the best website design in the world. The layout could be perfect, the use of images just right, but if your website visitor can't read the text comfortably, then it is unlikely that they will turn into customers or leads. Concept of RGB color. A representation of additive color mixing projection of primary color lights on a white screen shows secondary colors where two overlap. The combination of all three of red, green, and blue in equal intensities makes white. The RGB color model is an additive color model in which red, green, and blue light are added together in various ways to produce a broad array of colors. The name of the model comes from the initials of the three additive primary colors red, green, and blue. The main purpose of RGB color model is for the sensing, representation, and display of images in electronic systems such as televisions and computers, though it has also been used in conventional photography. Additive primary colors. Additive color mixing, adding red to green yields yellow. Adding red to blue yields magenta. Adding green to blue yields cyan. Adding all three primary colors together yields white. To form a color with RGB, three light beams, one red, one green, and one blue, must be superimposed. Each of the three beams is called a component of that color, and each of them can have an arbitrary intensity from fully off to fully on in the mixture. CMYK color model. Color printing typically uses ink of four colors: cyan, magenta, yellow, and key, that is black. When CMY primaries are combined at full length, the resulting secondary mixtures are red, green, and blue. Mixing all three gives an imperfect black. The CMYK color model is a subtractive color model used in color printing and is also used to describe the printing process itself. Though it varies by print house, press operator, press manufacturer, and press run, ink is typically applied in the order of the abbreviation. The CMYK model works by partially or entirely masking colors on a lighter, usually white background. Different type of formats: JPEG, MPEG, AVI, GIF, MP3, bitmap, TIFF. JPEG. JPEG is a commonly known and used method of lossy compression for digital images, particularly for those images produced by digital photography. The degree of compression can be adjusted, allowing a selectable trade-off between strong storage size and image quality. JPG typically achieves 10:1 compression with little perceptible loss in image quality. JPEG compression is used in a number of image file formats. It is the most common format for storing and transmitting photographic images on the World Wide Web. These format variations are often not distinguished and are simply called JPEG. JPEG oblique JFIF supports a maximum image size of 65535 into 65535 pixel, hence up to 4 gigapixel for an aspect ratio of 1:1. MPEG, Moving Pictures Experts Group. MPEG for Moving Picture Expert Group develops standards for digital video and digital audio compression. It operates under the auspices of the International Organization for Standardization (ISO). The MPG standards are an evolving series, each designed for a different purpose. To use MPEG video files, you need a personal computer with sufficient processor speed, internal memory, and hard disk space to handle and play the typically large MPEG file. You also need an MPEG viewer or client software that plays MPEG files. You can download shareware or commercial MPG players from a number of sites on the web. AVI, Audio Video Interleave. Audio Video Interleave, known by its initial AVI, is a multimedia container format introduced by Microsoft in November 1992 as part of its Video for Windows software. AVI files can contain both audio and video data in a file container that allows synchronous audio and video playback like the DVD video format. AVI files support multiple streaming audio and video, although these features are seldom used. Most AVI files also use the file format extensions developed by the Matrox OpenDML group in February 1996. These files are supported by Microsoft and are unofficially called AVI 2.0. GIF file format. GIF or graphic interchange format is a file extension for an animated raster graphics file and is the second most common image format used on the World Wide Web after JPEG. GIF uses the LZW compression algorithm and is owned by Unisys. Though Unisys licensing statement indicates a license is required to use GIF files, in practice they have not required it and many downloader and website builders remain ignorant to the required license and GIS proposed patent fee replacement in PNG. MP3 file format. MP3 is a standard technology and format for compressing a sound sequence into a very small file while preserving the original level of sound quantity when it is played. MP3 provides near CD quality audio. It is one of the most common music file types. It is not an MPG3 but uses the audio compression found in layer 3 in MPG1 or 2 video files. The audio stream layer. The name MPG derived from the Moving Picture Research Group and was created by a Fraunhofer Institute in Germany in 1991. Sound quality varies by such settings as bit rate, fixed or variable, sample rate, joint or normal stereo. Bitmap graphic. When you take a photograph using a digital camera or scan an image from a magazine, you are creating a bitmap graphic. Bitmap graphic is composed of many tiny parts called pixels, which are often many different colors. It is possible to edit each individual pixel. Since the computer has to store information about every single pixel in the image, the file size of bitmap graphic is often quite large. When you resize a bitmap graphic, it tends to lose quality. Use the slider to zoom into the bitmap graphic below. Notice how you can zoom further in. The image loses quality and you can start to see each individual pixel. TIFF, Tagged Image File Format. TIFF or Tagged Image File Format is a common format for exchanging raster graphics bitmap images between application programs, including those used for scanner images. A TIFF file can be identified as a file with a .tiff or TIF file name suffix. TIFF format was developed in 1986 by an industry committee chaired by the Elders Corporation, now part of Adobe Software. Microsoft and HP were among the contributors to the format. One of the most common graphic image formats, TIFF files, are commonly used in desktop publishing, faxing, 3D applications, and medical imaging applications. TIFF files can be in any of several classes, including gray scale, color palette, or RGB full color, and can include files like JPEG, LZW, or CCITT group for standard run length image compression. Friends, with this we come to end of today's class. Thank you. Have a nice day.